Hey, BookTube Sean here. Time for a weekly update of my reading. It's just going to be reading this week. I've decided, I know last week I did on my week in books and film, and I combined the two, but I've decided to not do that going forward. I think the message was pretty clear on by the number of views on that video that I should keep things separated. And I'm, for the first time ever, filming with actual books behind me and bookshelves behind me. I am in my room where I store books. I don't normally come in here and film because it's in the basement and it's kind of dusty and spiders get in and stuff. But it turned out the lighting was actually fairly decent. I didn't think the lighting was going to be decent because the lighting is weird in here. I'm going to move things a little bit, but I have that light up there, which I need to replace bulbs in. And then the previous owners put this weird light just on the wall, halfway up the wall here. It's just these directional lights, but it's actually providing fairly decent light. And I didn't think it would for filming. Plus I got a little bit of sunlight coming in through the window up there. Not much because I have bushes blocking that window. But anyway, yeah, so I figured why not try to film like a real booktuber with actual books behind me instead of like my television or the wall of the other office or a bed behind me, like every other one of my videos over the past 4 years. 4 years coming up in June, even though last year was kind of a non-year. But anyway, let's get into it. I have not finished any books this week. I was hoping I would finish at least one book this week, but it didn't happen. But I'm currently reading. I'm kind of going a little crazy right now. SPFBO 7 started. For those who don't know, SPFBO is a self-published fantasy blog off, started by Mark Lawerence. This is the seventh round of it. 300 books get put forward, split up between 10 judges or judging groups. Some are blogs that have multiple people involved in their judging. Each get 30 books each that whittle down to 10 by the end of the year. And then they all read the 10 finalists, and whichever one gets the highest rating wins. This past year's SPFBO 6 winner was The Lost War by Justin Lee Anderson, which is one of my currently reading books. So yeah, I was kind of going a little crazy. I'm wanting to start so many books. Like I want to follow along with SPFBO this year more closely. I mentioned in my last video that I want to make more of a point of reading self-published fantasy and science fiction this year too. The other big news that happened, Scott at Book Invasion did a trailer video for it, which was really cool. I'll link it below. Hugh Howey, the author of the Wool series, it's actually called the Silo series, I think, but starts with Wool, got blessing from Mark Lawerence to start a science fiction self-published blog off. He's calling it SPSFC, Self-Published Science Fiction Competition, which is accepting submissions for judges currently, and will be accepting submissions for books, I think, in June. So I think it's going to kick off in July, or late June, early July, with the 300 books. So I'm gonna follow along with that a little bit too, because I've been getting fairly versed in the self-published fantasy, but self-published science fiction, I don't know where to start. But anyway, I want to kind of read along, especially with SPFBO this year. And I actually already had some of them on my Kindle, and I bought a few. And I'm gonna tell you what I want to read, and I'll put, I always put images up, but I'm currently reading The Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. I talked about that last week. That comes out on the 28th, so hopefully next week's my week in books, I will be covering that book as a read book. I'm almost, I would like to be, I'm 36% of the way through it right now. I would like to be 50% of the way through it. This is Thursday night as I'm filming this. I would like to be 50% of the way through it before I go to bed tonight. And that'll keep me on track for finishing it by the time I film next week's wrap up. But anyway, so I obviously have that on my Kindle. Thank you to the author for that. But other ones that I have that I'm going to try and read along with, or I'm going to start trying to read along with the SPFBO with, are Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. I think that's the one I'm going to start after I finish The Iron Crown, because that one is over 900 pages, and it's going to take a while. Flames of Rebellion by Aaron S. Jones. Order of the Magi. I have to see who this is by because it doesn't clearly state on the cover that I can see. Christopher Scott. Order of the Magi by Christopher Scott. Beneath the Brass Sky by Eli Steele. Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes, who also does a monthly blog post of self-published fantasy books that are coming out the next month. So I will link his blog down below. We Men of Ash and Shadow by, H.L. Tinsey. I had something covering up part of that. Daughter of Flood and Fury by Levi Jacobs. Gunmetal Gods by when the little check mark on the Kindle Paperwhite covers up part of the name. Zamil Akhtar. That's Gunmetal Gods. Is a really cool cover. And yeah, that is it. Those are the ones that I own that are in the current round of SPFBO. There's another one I'm going to pick up very soon. I will tell you what that is. I have to find it. Winds of Strife by U.G. Gutman. I'm going to pick that up very soon. But so I'm reading Lost War, Justin Lee Anderson. I'm reading Iron Crown by L.L. McRae. I talked about both of those in my previous weekly update, so I'll link that below. I'm also reading The Dark That Dwells by Matt Digman and Ryan Roddy. I've been joining some Discords, mostly today, but this one I joined a few days ago. I'm trying to get more active in the Discord community, but I joined the Shelf-Published In Discord, which is focused on self-published SFF and I think maybe a little bit of horror too, but mostly SFF. And they do a monthly book read along, and The Dark That Dwells is this month's read along book. So I grabbed it to see, if maybe I can try and get it done. I've read, I can't say much about it. I'll try and pull up. In fact, I think I have it pulled up because I was I'm just looking at my laptop right now. In this evocative science fiction series, 4 strangers are swept up in a gripping adventure of thrilling battles, ravenous creatures, and the return of forbidden magic. Ranger, warrior, tyrant, arcanist. Forced together by fate on paths that collide in chaos, they must fight to survive. As their stories interweave in love and hate, redemption and revenge, one threat will eclipse their greatest fears: a being of utter darkness and its imminent return. I've read the prologue and first chapter of this, and so far I'm really digging it. So I'm excited to read further in that. And other than that, I am also reading, and this is going to flow right into the haul portion of my weekend books, and that is A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. This is P. Djeli Clark's debut novel, although he has three novellas and a short story novelette kind of thing. Two are set in this world, Haunting of Tramcar 15 and A Dead Gin in Cairo. A Dead Gin in Cairo is the introduction of the Fatma character, who is the main character of this book. He also has Ring Shout and The Black God's Drums. But this is his first novel-length book. And I had this pre-order. I was super excited for this. And then SPFBO happened. I'm on chapter 4 of this. I would read the description. Cairo, 1912. Though Fatma el-Shawari is the youngest woman working for the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities, she's certainly not a rookie, especially after preventing the destruction of the universe last summer. So when someone murders the members of a secret brotherhood dedicated to one of the most famous men in history, Al-Jahiz, Agent Fatma is called to the case. Al-Jahiz transformed the world 40 years ago when he opened up the veil between the magical and the mundane realms before vanishing into the unknown. This murderer claims to be Al-Jahiz, returned to condemn the modern age for its social oppressions. His dangerous magical abilities instigate unrest in the streets of Cairo that threatens to spill onto the global stage. Alongside her ministry colleagues and a familiar face from her past, Agent Fatma must unravel the mystery behind this imposter to restore peace to the city or face the possibility he could be exactly who he seems. And like I said, I absolutely adored the first two books in this world. It's very, as I said, 1912 Cairo, but it's kind of steampunky, and the character of Fatma I really liked in A Dead Gin in Cairo. So I'm excited to get back to more of this. The other two books I got in over the week, The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. When the gods fought, it was a battle so savage they destroyed themselves, leaving nothing but their bones and the broken land of Vigrid in their wake. Now as whispers of war echo over the fjords and across the plains, fate follows in the footsteps of three warriors, a huntress on a perilous quest, a noblewoman pursuing battle fame, and a thrall seeking retribution among the mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. All three will change the course of the world as it once more falls under the shadow of the gods. This is the author of, I can't think of the name of the series right now, but is Malice and Ruin, and then the other set of books that are set in that world, which I've heard great things about. But this is the first book in a brand new, separate from that world series. So I'm excited to get in at the ground level of this series. I do want to read the other ones. I actually did start Malice last year when I was having trouble focusing on reading, and I was enjoying it, but again, 2020 sucked for me in reading. And this is also the Shelf Space Discord server. This is their May book of the month. So I actually read the first chapter or prologue? Chapter 1. I read chapter 1 today just to get a feel for it, and I think I'm really going to dig it. And I also picked up Son of the Storm by Sui Davis Okungboa. I've heard that name pronounced several times, and I know I probably still just butchered it. It says, in the city of Bassa, Danso is a clever scholar on the cusp of achieving greatness, only he doesn't want it. Instead, he prefers to chase forbidden stories about what lies outside the city walls. The Bassai elite claim there is nothing of interest. The city's immigrants are sworn to secrecy. But when Damso stumbles across a warrior wielding magic that shouldn't exist, he's put on a collision course with Bassa's darkest secrets. Drawn into the city's hidden history, he sets out on a journey beyond its borders, and the chaos left in the wake of his discovery threatens to destroy the empire. This is the Nameless Book 1 of the Nameless Republic. I've been hearing, this just came out over the past week. I've been hearing some pretty good things about it, and this cover is just fantastic. All these covers. This cover is fantastic. The Dead Djinn and the Master of Djinn, that cover is fantastic. They're killing it with the fantasy covers lately. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get to this till maybe July, but yeah, I'm excited to have it. So that is the book haul portion. That's really kind of it this week. Short video this week. I'm talking kind of fast too. I actually have dinner in the oven. I'm filming this while dinner's in the oven. But yeah, that's what's been up with me. Major fantasy mood right now. I am still listening to the audiobook too of Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. But book, probably, I looked in my book, I'm about 90 pages into that. That's going to be slowly over. My book club meeting for it is in the end of June, so I'm just going to work on that one slowly. I'd struggle with audiobooks sometimes. But yeah, so this week's plans are finish The Iron Crown, hopefully maybe finish Lost War, and get started on a couple other self-published. I'm really wanting to put a focus on self-published fantasy, and I would like to actually get a good ways into this too. Over the week, and also the what was it? Sorry, I gotta open my account. The Dark That Dwells. I would like to make some significant progress in that as well. Books that I'm looking to start soon, possibly over the next week, because I read multiple books at a time. Are the Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer that I mentioned. I've been hearing great things about The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So I would like to start that. And I may start soon. I don't know if it's going to be over the next week. It might be, but The Last Argument of Kings, the third book in the first Law trilogy. I read the first two a couple of years ago, and I've never finished off that trilogy. And I would like to finish off that trilogy. So anyway, that's my weekend books this week. Thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I hope you enjoyed it. Real booktube setting. Not a clean real booktube setting, but real booktube setting. So I hope you want to stick around. I hope you want to see more. If you do, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, thumbs up. You know the drill. I'll see you all in the next one.